Hey everyone, welcome to LA. I'm Nikki Gordon-Bloomfield.
I'm Kate Walton-Elliott.
And we are at Automobility LA, which is kind of like the pre-game show for the LA Auto Show, right?
Yeah, it's the pre-show. Before we get into the main details of the show, we get to see what the smaller automakers, the startups, what they are going to be showing us.
Yeah, it's like your starter before the main course.
Yeah.
The main course tomorrow, of course, being all of the major OEMs and all of the cars that they may or may not be bringing to market. There'll be lots of concept cars, lots of grandiose statements, but today was about some of the smaller companies, with one exception, because we had Porsche do something later on in the day. But we headed off and started the day with a free breakfast, which the entire crew, of course, was very grateful to have.
It's a hard life.
It's a hard knock life. And then we went to Faraday Future, which appears to have a future, Faraday Future.
Yeah, I mean, I may eat my words, but I think they're moving in the right direction.
So for those who don't know, Faraday Future started off being run by a Chinese businessman called YT Jia. He got himself into quite a lot of financial trouble, both in his home country of China and also here in the United States. Faraday Future became very cash-strapped. The company as a whole was burning through a lot of cash.
Bringing a car to market is expensive.
And we had lots of lavish events at lots of auto shows for the past couple of years, and really the company's not had a whole lot to show for it.
No, I mean, it's sort of been the same car.
It's been the same car. It's been promising us, self-driving, fully connected lifestyle, super expensive price tag, and then suddenly they announced a change in CEO.
Yes.
And that new CEO was Carsten Breitfeld. Did I say it right?
I believe so.
Yep. And today Kate spoke to Carsten about that transition, because he originally came from...
originally from BMW, where he kind of shepherded the i8 into existence.
Yeah.
And then to Byton, and now to Faraday Future.
Yes, Kate, yes. Today I have been saying Byton a lot.
Yes.
Even around Faraday Future, which kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, which is why the interview is with me and not with Nikki.
Yes.
Best that way round.
Couldn't bring myself to that. But during the kind of the keynote, the presentation, we learned some interesting things about Faraday Future's future. The FF91 is still in production.
Yes.
It has a small production facility, 10 to 15,000 cars maximum, and Carsten essentially said that's okay because the FF91 is going to be a $150,000 to $200,000 car.
Yeah, it's an ultra luxury vehicle, really intended for a very small market.
The vehicle on display today is essentially the same vehicle that's been going around all of the auto shows for the last couple of years. It's been improved. For the first time we got to see inside. Very luxurious.
Yes, kind of reclined back seats.
Kind of like the Chinese long wheelbase market.
Yeah.
If I'm really honest. But there was a couple of things that were said that irked you a little bit.
Well, there was a discussion of luxury being something that could be, sustainability could be a luxury thing, that it's partly a luxury market segment.
Sustainability needs to be for everybody.
It does.
It does. And yeah, but we're talking about some of these figures here at 1,050 horsepower.
Yes. Yeah, that is the stated goal.
Of the FF91?
Of the FF91.
And then after that, there's the FF81, which is going to be the affordable car.
Yes, just in the same kind of price bracket as the Tesla Model S, which is very affordable, as we've often said.
Well, I mean, we've got 4, 5, 1 for every day of the week.
Yeah, well, and then
we're
just getting 2 for the weekends. Different colours,
But I mean, all jokes aside, Faraday Future is not going to be an affordable car company anytime soon.
They're saying 60 to 80,000.
And I was at the Ford Mark-E event a couple of nights ago where Ford said, hey, this is an affordable car, we're bringing it to market. I don't know how. I'd love Faraday Future to succeed, but I just can't see the business case there.
No, I can see the FF91 existing as a very, very niche market vehicle.
Yeah,
because there isn't really anything exactly in that, particularly in China, where there is a market for very luxury vehicles.
People to be driven around, and I said this to one of the Faraday Future employees, and they were like, yeah, you might want to drive it as well, but this is a car that I feel that you want to be driven around in.
Yeah, you want to be in the back, reclined, dozing.
So after Faraday Future, what else did we hear?
So then, where did we go next? Oh yes, future of AI. I know that is everybody's favourite topic whenever we bring it up.
Yeah, autonomous driving really hasn't caught on the channel, and I think that's kind of telling, because autonomous driving in general, people are coming around and going, this is a lot harder than we thought. Daimler recently went, you know what, we're not going to focus on self-driving vehicles for city centres. We're going to focus on using that technology for large fleet operators on the freeway, large distance driving.
Yeah, and actually that's something we've seen through a lot of the presentations today. A lot of discussion about geofenced areas in which autonomous vehicles will operate, rather than the general, you get in it, you drive it from home to work and it does all the work for you.
Rather than the panacea of utopia that we were promised a couple of years ago.
Yes.
And I don't think there's really a whole lot else that we can talk about on that subject, because everyone has been promising us autonomous driving for so long. It's almost like it's becoming the hydrogen fuel cell joke, the same joke again. Self-driving cars are going to be here, but they're not fully here yet.
Just in 5 to 10 years.
And I know that, you're watching this probably and going, yes, but Tesla's got this technology. And a lot of the challenges are that, we're talking to some insiders in the industry earlier on who basically agree with us when we say Tesla doesn't really have any super huge secret sauce with its autonomous driving yet.
No.
It's still in that level 3, level 4 no man's land. They're not at level 5 or level 6 yet. And we keep getting it promised to us, but it's not quite there yet.
It's always in the future, and that last step is the very hardest one.
So after the AI thing, which really I must admit was a bit of a
It's a
snooze
rehash
fest
of the same conversation we've been having.
for a long time.
Yeah.
We headed over to Karma, who debuted a new car,
Shiny, brand new car, completely unlike
the one
anyone.
behind us.
Yeah, never seen it before.
It's called the Karma Revero GTS.
Yeah.
Brand new on inside now.
Well, it's sort of similar to a previous car.
It's basically a Fisker Karma. Obviously the Fisker Karma doesn't exist anymore because the Fisker went bankrupt, so the Karma was purchased, rights to the Karma and the production was purchased by a Chinese company. This is what Karma has come. This is where Karma's come from, and it's got a 3-cylinder BMW sourced engine.
Yes.
Under the bonnet,
which apparently produces a throaty exhaust note.
Throaty exhaust note.
Yeah, very important.
360 miles combined range with the range extender operating.
And just 80 miles of all-electric range.
80 miles of all-electric range. It's claiming 536 horsepower.
Yeah, and a 3.9 second 0 to 60.
3.9 seconds 0 to 60. It's got twin electric motors on the rear wheel, which is on the rear axle, which is good.
Yes, and it has a launch mode, which I'm sure I've heard that name somewhere else, which you use the range extended engine to produce extra power, and then you can use that and the power out of the battery.
The way they described it was you have to tell the car that you want to use launch mode.
Wait.
You have to wait.
Then you can release the handbrake, and off you go.
And then off you go. And then there was something weird about a timer as soon as you hit 60 miles an hour.
Oh yeah. That's the one where the speedometer changes into a timer that tells you how fast you've done your 0 to 60, which is interesting.
But the idea of having to, it's ludicrous. The idea of having to wait for the engine to spool up.
Is that not how you drive normally?
It reminds me, I don't want to be really critical here, but I'm going to be. It reminds me of the old days with the Prius, when you could keep your foot on the brake and run the engine to charge the battery a little bit.
Yeah.
That's the equivalent of doing a launch start in a Prius. You're going to turn the engine on. You're going to have to wait for the engine to spool up to screaming status.
Yeah.
And then it releases, and then off you go.
And then off you go, which is very useful for a traffic light Grand Prix, I suppose, where you have the time to wait.
Yes. Excuse me, would you just mind waiting, Mr. Tesla Roadster? I'm just waiting. I just need to just get myself ready.
Yeah.
Limber up.
Getting in the right mindset. And while we're waiting, I'll just be waiting for this engine to warm up. But yeah, over-the-air updates.
Oh, but then there was another vehicle as well, the SC2.
Oh yes.
Which is again, I really don't want to be horrible, but
But you do.
this is a car that had something to do with virtual reality, and I didn't really understand it.
Yeah, I want to say that I heard it wrong, but
So do I.
But the conversation kept going, and I couldn't think of any other way that it could be interpreted, and everyone on the team heard the same thing. So it seems to be that you can take your car out and you do a drive, and you're loving your drive, so you can record it, and then you can play it back in the car, and other people you can share it with. But also, there are going to be saved drives from things like the Nürburgring
So you can take your car around the Nürburgring.
in virtual reality.
No, in the real world, but in virtual reality, you're
Virtual-
racing somebody else,
Yeah.
which seems like an incredibly distracting thing to do. And whatever happened to the old-fashioned stopwatch? You know, if you want to do a fast lap,
You just do a fast lap.
you just do a fast lap and time yourself.
Yeah.
So there we are.
Yeah.
Anyway, after that, we did Porsche.
We did.
And Porsche had a little fireside chat, effectively, about its lineup of electric vehicles and what it's expecting to do in the future, and then, you know, the Taycan and all of that.
Yes.
So what did you make of that?
It was a very interesting conversation. One of the things that really struck me is that they are really trying to move towards electrification, but they obviously still love petrol engines and they want to keep them as long as possible. In fact, that was what he said. As long as possible is his quote.
Which is a shame, because the Taycan is a stonkingly amazing car.
Yeah.
Porsche is bringing the Macan to market, an electric Macan, which is going to be sold alongside a completely different Macan,
Yeah.
that is the petrol version. And then there was a strange quote about the last car
Oh yeah, the
being
last
a-
car will be a sports
will be a
car,
sports car.
which is an interesting thought.
Well, I would just say that I would suggest that there are lots of people around who would disagree with that statement.
Yes, I would say so.
Basically every science fiction dystopian writer in the future. And it does sound like there is a raptor or a dinosaur or something coming to eat us. We're getting sound played from the main stage area. So that's pretty much everything that we've done here at Automobility LA. It's not Automobility LA tomorrow, it's kind of like the pre-LA Auto Show press days, more press days, yay!
Yay.
But we do get to actually see some of the vehicles that are going to be coming to market soon. There's going to be some concept cars. Later on today, we're going to do a couple of interviews that you're going to see on the channel in the next few weeks. So what we're going to be doing is, we're not going to be doing another one of these roundup shows because I know they're not super interesting.
No, people don't know.
We'll do individual videos on all of the things that we're going to be seeing and doing tomorrow, and then we'll be releasing those over the next week or so. So we'll be back tomorrow.
Yes.
And catch some good sleep tonight, Kate. I think everyone on the team has had a really good day today, but we're a bit tired.
Yeah, a little bit.
So I'm Nicky Gordon-Bloomfield.
I'm Kate Walton-Elliott.
Good night from me.
It's good night from her.
Kakite. See you next time.